Is that a 6 or a 9? Yeah, hell yeah, 5. Fuck you, Sykes.
Well, there was.
Welcome to the stream.
Oh.
Fuck you, Sykes.
I'm just happy I don't have to do the recap because I don't remember shit. Ever.
The recap would have been like this one's not too terrible.
Yeah, not too much.
Plus, Sykes always knows what he's talking about. So if he does it, great. It makes us all better. You know, we all remember the situation better.
Okay, let's see. We started off in the tower, kind of secluded, with the power of, I believe it was Tilda, the deity of. Can't remember what she's the specific deity of. Yeah, of hospitality. And she kind of like closed off that area while we were in there, while a lot of the other Delwyn were outside trying to make their way in to the area. And then there was one stuck in there with us. We ended up killing that really quick, and then we all partook in a hasty long rest that was provided by Chuck and his kindling that he received from Tilda. After we were kind of like refreshed, we started making our way back out. Well, we all kind of hunkered into the tower while the Delwyn fought through the overgrown brush that had like kind of grown up that Tilda kind of put in place when that barrier kind of broke. A lot of the spellcasters were like blasting everyone inside. We were able to fight them off for the most part. When I think Sykes moved out to attack the rest of the blood mages, a lot of party members were going down, and then a lot of efforts went into making sure no one died. I think one of the blood mages had reanimated one of their other either casters or I think it was one of their mages, who then attempted to cast a spell and failed at casting the spell. And that's when there was this lump creature here that came into existence, which Harkin was able to kind of persuade to help us versus like help the reanimated mage corpse there. And then it looked pretty bleak for a while because they were able to get some solid attacks out on us. A lot of us were going down. Sykes did in fact die. Thankfully, I believe it was Solarin who was able to get like kind of one last heal off that brought the cleric back, and that cleric was able to at that point maximize his healing efforts because a lot of the enemies were kind of taken out by then. So just kind of bringing up as many folks as he could, and then was able to cast Revivify on Sykes, bringing him back. And then we ended up routing out the rest of the Delwyn before they could get away, with Chuck like pretty much full sprinting and just planting his fist through this last Delwyn that was over there. And then we kind of rallied back together towards the front of the unfinished tower. Kind of discussed with the remaining couple of dwarves like what the next move should be. I think we were going to take a short rest and then move to go check on the women and children that were making their way back to Voltsnue. I think that's about where we ended.
Yep. And you are getting ready to go look for all the women and children you might have sent to their deaths.
Yeah.
By having them ridden down by cavalry looking for gnomes.
Yeah. Yes. There's that.
I'm sure it's fine.
Everything's fine. It's all fine.
We just,
How are you?
Sort of as we're gathering the corpses, do we get sort of a head count of how many there were?
Of the enemy or of the
Yeah.
dwarves that died?
Oh, yeah, we knew that finite number.
Very finite. It's nearly 60.
Okay, so we got most of, or at least the majority of them from what we saw at the camp.
Yes. You would imagine it'd be a little weird for every last one of them.
Yeah.
To have come for the attack, but this
Would
is
it?
pretty clearly almost all of them.
Damn.
Heck yeah.
We killed a bunch.
Which
I do believe,
means
though,
the
we
camp
killed-
is ripe for attacking.
Didn't we also kill
That
all their
is
blood
true.
mages as well?
Yes.
That's it. And then we fought 5 in this one, and Slarm pushed one off a bridge.
Let's fuck up their camp.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Let's fuck up the camp.
Maybe we can convince the others to forsake the path. laid
Flump
before them.
friend will come with us.
Who will?
Though we
Flump.
probably should check on the children first.
They're fine.
Yeah, murder the children.
Other way around.
Children will murder us.
No. Check
That's
on
enough.
the children. Close.
There's just a bunch of children crying, "No! I don't want to do it! Please don't make me do it!"
Do it, you little son of a bitch, end my suffering.
Shut up,
Take
you
the
little
sword,
pussies.
Slit my throat.
It's the only way you'll learn.
That's why your father died.
Jesus.
Uh,
Because he was too weak to do it himself.
Father got Boromired by 60 fucking elven arrows.
Sights on the other hand, like arrows do nothing to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that false sense of confidence is gonna find its way rather fast.
Yeah, you should also mention that invincibility has also expired.
Sykes doesn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go back and he's gonna be like, "You guys just wait behind. I've got this."
He comes back around the corner with like 9 arrows in him, and he's like, "Well,
Yeah.
update.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
longer invincible."
Yeah, what's that scene? I think it's Hero with Jet Li at the very end.
Oh, damn,
It's just like
yes.
it's just the silhouette of like where there's no arrows at. Yeah. Oh, that would be terrible.
But yes, we should make for the children, or at least the path back to Voltsnue. Give them an update. And then we raid.
If you're ready to go setting off, you'll probably want somebody capable of tracking to find where they went off to.
I got this. If I can find granola, I can find humans. Gnomes? Gnomes.
Well, Chuck and
Dwarves.
Lincoln, we
Dwarves.
took a
Dwarves. Dwarves. Not gnomes.
other,
We took a short
the
rest.
other short ones. Yeah, we did.
Fuck.
I just didn't roll because I got no hit in my left.
Fuck.
Good. Well, I'm glad I'm constantly rolling 2s. This is fantastic.
Oh, there's an 8.
That one wasn't a 2. And it was a 2 and then a 3 and then a 2.
Doesn't matter. We're level 5s.
Not
I probably
constantly.
I only
Just
two.
on
needed
a
like 3
rest.
dice. Anyway.
No, we did level up, Chuck.
Yeah, we did.
So you should be level 6.
It's not my responsibility.
Ooh.
And then and then there was a 2d6 from the Song of Rest that we played.
The DM does it for me because I'm so bad at D&D.
Uh-huh. Good luck with that.
Hey, I'm in his hands, man. He can pick anything he wants.
Well,
That's a wild
Now, mine's a
statement.
homebrewing class, so I don't have to worry about mine either. It's awesome.
how I ended up in this situation.
You know, it sounds like you did it to yourself.
Hey, look, I leveled up, guys. Woo!
Hooray!
Just give you like 2 extra hit points. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
That's all I need.
Sykes' character sheet should be updated as well for him.
Chocolates, you fucking bag. Open.
Off,
Ah.
off. Chuck did get some new features.
Cool. I'm sure he'll never share them.
Or use them.
3rd level OxyClean spell.
So
Nice,
you
nice.
become a true proficient with using weapons as a monk.
Hell yeah.
Any weapons you use as a Kensai weapon is now magical.
Oh, what?
Oh.
And
my squeegees of death are magical.
yes, it is.
Hmm.
And when you hit with a Kensai weapon like your mop, you can spend a key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage equal to the martial arts die.
Interesting.
Kind of like a smite.
I'm cool
So it is a d6 at this level, if I remember right, but that goes up. So when you hit, you can burn your key points to do that.
with that. Good thing I'm out of key points.
Well, that's just for right now. Your unarmed strikes also count as magical.
I feel like that could be a curse if somebody's like resistant to magic or immune to magic.
No, because basically almost nothing is immune to magical attacks of bludgeoning. And anything that is, it was going to be anyways, because if they're immune to magical
Gotcha.
bludgeoning, they're immune to non-magical bludgeoning. So this just gives you a lot more options.
Yeah, magical resistance
Your-
just gets advantage on saves, not anything
Yes.
with weapons.
You gain another key point, and your movement speed increases.
Wow.
More?
Yes.
Jeez.
Level 6 is a point where that changes.
Yeah, monk's
Jeez.
fast as fuck.
Nice. Thank you.
I'm just happy with my 35 feet.
So Chuck is up to 55 feet per turn.
You know what I really like is the dancing
That is
item
insane.
that I can have, which is really cool. I fuck with the dancing item.
And yeah, your martial art die is a d6. So you hit with your mop, it's magical, and if you want to, you can spend key and deal an extra d6 of damage. Your movement speed is an insane 55 feet per turn.
Wild.
What is that? A Charlatan Stride or whatever? It's like a one if you pass by someone while you're on fire, you'll get them on fire too. Pretty much.
What?
Is Charlatan Stride, isn't
Something
that a
else.
spell where it's like
Oh,
you're
it
not
does
really
do
on
that,
fire, but
yeah.
like
Right,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
passing by someone,
From
like
fizz
you
bands.
cause fire damage.
Sorry,
to them, yeah.
all I was hearing was Chardolin, like from Icewind Dale, and I was
Oh
like,
no,
no, that's not a thing.
I don't know. I don't recall if
You're
that's the actual dragon's name or not. That's what's ringing
It's
in my brain.
the spell's name is a Chardolin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you are absolutely correct. I was just confused on the name.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Plant that on him and just to let him run around the forest.
Sykes, you leveled up correctly.
Yeah, everything
Like-
was.
I want that spell. The fuck?
It is for rangers, sorcerers, and wizards. But
Ah,
at
You get magical
level
secrets.
10, you can steal it.
perfect. I just need
Bards
to
are the
survive
best,
to
yeah.
level 10.
Yeah, that is one of the coolest features in the game. At level 10, bards can pick 2 spells from all classes and add them to their list.
They can do it a couple.
Yeah,
They can do it a couple times.
a
even
couple of
before
times,
10.
but level 10. Only lore bards.
Well, level
Oh,
10 is where
okay.
it starts,
That's-
right?
Gratis is lore.
Level
That
10
makes
is
sense.
regular bards, yeah.
Hmm.
But no, that is a dirty feature. Specifically when like rangers and paladins have signature spells for level 20 or level 17, and a bard can take it at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Cause fuck them. That's why.
Lore bards get it 3 times. It's nuts.
Death.
If Koei is the one who is deciding to go hunting after them,
After which ones?
the gnomes,
The gnomes. I'll look for the gnomes.
then could I get a survival check from you?
Well, we know what direction they headed in, right?
Yes,
Sort of just slightly.
but there's
I mean-
not much in the way of roads.
You said survival?
Yes, please.
Okay. Ooh!
Oh,
Ooh! Ooh! Okay.
Good, good.
I imagined a 2.
And everybody who didn't have faith in me, fuck you. That one guy who had faith in me, you're cool.
I mean, it took you
Everyone else
took
can
you
get the
6
fuck
weeks
out.
to find granola.
I had to walk really far for granola, okay?
Farm to table is a lot
Should
more
you have
complicated
gone-
back now.
Should you have needed to go that far, though?
Yeah. It was a
Well-
specific granola.
You very quickly find the trail of the dwarves and begin moving after them, though you can notice that they were more or less trying to conceal their tracks. Do you take that as an indictment of their confidence in your ability to defeat the enemy? Who can say?
They definitely thought we were all gonna die and they were gonna get tracked.
Or that they were just covering all their options.
No. They thought we were gonna all die and they were gonna fucking get tracked.
I mean,
I at least thought it was a
we were gonna
distinct
die too.
possibility. Me too. So
That's
it's
fucked
fair.
up.
Yeah, we wouldn't survive without Flump. Which didn't, if I remember correctly, Harkin decided to call him what, Vinny?
Vinny.
Because he like,
I do not
all my
recall.
name's this, and released a stink cloud.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
This flump
But
is
you're able to
deeply
find it
military.
easy enough as you go following after them. You can tell that they're not moving especially quickly, though, as they're more preoccupied with not being followed.
Mm.
And it only takes you just over half a day to come to a gorge with a relatively new kind of loose stone path that's been put in. This is recent work and freshly quarried, and you suspect it was probably laid in by the dwarves, as it leads down into a small valley with a river flowing from a waterfall.
They drowned themselves.
Because they weren't pussies.
As the kids would say.
As you make your way down, you see several dwarven women emerge, some of them clutching axes and shields, looking tentatively and then visibly relaxing as soon as they see you. Oh, thanks. Look at. Wait. Where are the men?
Dead.
They fought bravely, but they did not make it.
They all died valiant. They all died valiantly.
The mage and the priest survived.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh yeah,
That's
they're
right.
here. Oh, did they come with us?
Oh yes, they came with you.
Okay.
The women look at each other, exchanging glances, and then they kind of slightly shrug and say, "Well, it was probably better in the end that they did."
What?
What? I mean, I feel like the men caused this.
You would be more than a little bit correct in that.
Well, shit.
Those fools went around with, blood debts and feuds when we're trying to make a new world for us here. They brought all of this ruin down on us, and whenever we objected, they told us to go bake.
Thank you.
Cookies? Did you bake cookies?
No!
In a tree?
That's his
We
nose
loved
you're
our
talking
husbands,
about.
but
No, those are elves that do that.
Oh shit.
we loved our husbands, but they brought a ruin on us that we advised them strongly against.
Well,
That checks out.
regardless, we are sorry for the loss of family members, but we must continue on our way.
And we are gratified that there is wisdom left in this outfit. Do you return to will you return to Voltsnue? The outpost is there for reestablishment, but its resources and most of its area has been destroyed.
It's also very bloody. There's a
Yes,
lot
lots of
dead,
blood.
dead elves everywhere.
That is true.
So it'd probably be a lot more cleanup than it's worth at this point.
We never wanted them to even start to build there.
Perfect. Move somewhere nicer. This place actually looks pretty cool.
Why do you think we're here? They kind of chuckle and look at you.
This is a very nice spot. Good for, I assume, good for trade, given the path that you've made here.
We started here and the men decided they knew better. We didn't even get to finish this bridge we were building before they hauled us over to that damned hill.
Which is silly. This is such a better defensible position.
Yeah, men suck.
We thank you for all of your efforts sincerely. And we are going to mourn the loss of our husbands, but we've been mourning that for some time now since they started that feud with the Delmwyn. Is there something we might do to repay you, though? We realize you put your lives on the line, and we are most grateful for it.
Well, continuing trade with Voltsnue would be helpful, but
Yes,
that's
if
way
we
right now
better
could.
than
you have
what I was
a
gonna
lot
ask
to do
for.
yourselves.
If you could find it within you to reconcile your relationship with Nada and Voltsnue, then our job here will be done.
Given that disparity between only occurred because they expected more support from Nada in a feud that they didn't need to start, I think we can resume that. However, it will be some time before we can get production going again.
Yeah. Perhaps
The men were good for mining, at least.
perhaps we can get some volunteers from Voltsnue, not only to help set up mining operations, but to build a new home for you and your people here.
Ooh, or we could go back to the camp of elves and we can take slaves.
Can Harkin
Whoa.
like smack back
Whoa.
of Toby's
I will
head?
not abide
Whoa!
such behavior.
My
What?
people may be misled, but they will not be enslaved.
Okay, indentured servants.
That's not any better.
They have dentures?
They're willing to work of their own volition, then perhaps.
They're
Death
willing
is
to work
preferable
because
over
if not,
lack
they
of
will die.
freedom.
Well,
Then many of
we
them
can
will
always
choose
ask
death.
them. We
Joey,
can always ask.
They
Yeah,
will
Joey,
choose death.
We can
you know,
present
life
them
as a
the
slave is like a life without granola.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go that far, but
He likes granolas too much.
Because you have not tried her granola. It is pretty fantastic.
It's delicious.
And,
that, we've been talking, though, and we will be sorely lacking some help. Perhaps something that might be mutually beneficial. I don't know your standings, but perhaps you could be interested in having some ownership in this venture?
Like a mine?
Perhaps somewhere to call home?
that would be nice.
I
It is
was
an
very
interesting
much-
proposition.
While Voltsnue was a great place to stay and never truly felt like home.
We have no quarrel with Nada and the others, but it must be said, our kind have always been treated nearly second class.
I don't know why people treat gnomes so badly.
They're not gnomes.
What? Well, I mean, I guess, but what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know what she's on about. She gets confused.
I do feel like Nada is trying to change that circumstance, but I understand your hesitation.
I did send a message to her. Did she ever actually meet up with you guys? Or
I mean, what was the message you sent again?
shut up. Shut up.
To get to hear from Voltsnue would take longer than they've had.
Oh,
Perhaps when as long as Nada was smart enough to decipher Toei's message, we should see him in the next few hours. Perhaps we can.
Help may
Yeah,
be
maybe we
on
can-
its way.
maybe we
We
can bed
we did
down.
recover some equipment from the Delwyn. If you are in need of any more weapons or armor,
That is true. Their bows are quite exquisite.
Should be great for hunting.
How far is this from where we killed all those people?
About a half day.
Oh, Jesus. I was thinking, oh, we could carry all the bodies. And then I'm like, okay, maybe not the bodies, just their stuff. But then their
I
stuff
am-
even sounds like a hard deal.
I am moderately skilled in the use of multiple tools. I would be willing to help get you guys on your feet and started in your venture.
We are skilled in many labors, not so reliant on the men, but if you would be interested in working with us, we could build a home for you, some fortifications, and once we get a mine operating, you could have a clan share in the proceeds from that too.
Absolutely.
And-
We're down.
What sort of help
What do you-
think we need immediately?
Yeah.
Well, we would make you honorary members of the clan,
Ooh.
asking only for your commitment to stand with us in fights and struggles, not to stand with our enemies, and to contribute in the chores and tasks that you're able to. We do not delegate in a form of you must do this or that, but you bring what you can to the clan.
This will be fine as long as we include a provision for work with Voltsnue, or at least a non-aggression and possibly trade agreement sort of off the bat with Voltsnue as sort of appointed representatives of them. This would go much to, if we were part of the clan, we would expect that respect to Nada and Voltsnue.
Of course, that is the position we would have taken anyways. You do not
good.
need to feel concerned for that.
I would just note, don't cut down too many trees, or at least see if someone's home first.
We can discuss those matters as well. This would not be a commitment that would bind your hands against friendly peoples, but simply a gesture of good faith. If you can bring funds, construction, resources, any labors, those are all greeted as valuable contributions as we gather ourselves to rebuild with less. She shifts and looks hesitant. Testosterone.
Perhaps some of the dwarves back in Voltsnue will be convinced to spare some resources this way.
The speaker kind of chuckles and she says, especially once they find out we are a clan of women with no husbands.
I do not think you will lack for volunteers.
But perhaps a change in, because I assume this is him thinking is normally it's what the men dwarves that take charge because they're kind of dumb. But
Take
perhaps
charge because they're kind of dumb.
Yeah, I was like,
Pretty,
you're really
that's pretty
thinking-
universal in most
Hell
races.
yeah.
I
That's
do kind of
fucking right.
I was like,
Fuck
almost
these
like
I'm
men.
not disagreeing. I'm just trying to I'm not sure I'm following where.
it
What
seems
you
like
did
where this
men.
is going.
it feels like the women are much smarter, but they were kind of pushed us out of leadership roles by the men because they're like, oh, we're men, we have to show off.
Fuck men.
But
he
perhaps
Harkin
if,
just discovered misogyny or
Yeah.
patriarchy.
perhaps who's the dwarf that we're speaking with? We haven't met her before, right? We don't know her name.
No.
Perhaps if you were to help guide your people on a new path, that would be something will help you achieve if any upstarts try to give you trouble.
That would be welcome. Your association linked with us should reduce the number of
Opportunist.
opportunists, exactly, who will come.
Perfect.
Koei, you're not in charge of anything.
Fuck these men! Don't tell me what to do!
I am most certainly agreeable to this arrangement. I will definitely support this. And even more so because I believe in this. I pull out 50 platinum and give them to the thing. I would like to be initial investor.
Koei has become a feminist.
Her eyes go wide at that, and she takes a step forward, and she kind of bobs her head, and she says, "We are most grateful in your confidence in us."
All I
there,
ask is
any-
that you take a better eye to my people. We are passionate, we are expressive, but not all of us are kill on sight, as it were.
But sometimes you guys do really suck.
Yeah, I mean, that's very fair. That is
Your
very
people are bloodthirsty, volatile,
Ooh.
and prejudiced.
Ooh.
But often so are my people. This is
Exactly.
not something I hold strongly against, but
Fine art.
simply acknowledging where we come from.
And I might suggest that it is a property of people, not necessarily a property of species. Just keep that in.
To
the back of the-
varying degrees.
I mean, have you seen Koei? Satyrs would seem to be a murderous bunch, but this one's all right.
We're not murderous. We're pretty happy. Most of the time. Unless you piss us off.
I don't know, anyway.
We are not, she kind of like hesitates, a great representation of how our women stand against or are treated often. These were extenuating circumstances in many ways. They dragged us into a fight, and we needed rely on their strength in battle to have any hope.
I understand.
With this investment, we would be honored to make you clan members, owed equal share of clan profits,
Ooh.
and assign you a plot of land here, which may be worth little now, but if things go well, and that can be helped by yourselves and your progress, she kind of like hint, nudges.
Yeah, we could murder your enemies.
It could soon grow to be most valuable and a protected home and haven for you, and we would be blood-bound to defend against any who come for you.
Perhaps we can make this this new home of yours settlement to rival Voltsnue.
We have no wish to rival, but
I-
we do feel they are shortcoming in many things that we would like to excel at.
I see
Yes,
what you're
you-
saying. So you want to take over Voltsnue?
No.
I think
No,
they're
do you
talking
wanna
more
be-
about specialization.
Yeah,
rival
probably
in
more
the
more in terms
like,
of
in terms of like size and housing
and
townage and that.
yeah, a more equal footing with Voltsnue.
You know what the fastest way to do that though would be is if we took over Voltsnue.
No,
Just to bring
No.
Voltsnue down to their level.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna get you guys on the same level. We're gonna
So
burn a whole
You
building.
you
The
could get
only-
that done?
No,
No,
you
no.
will
burning
I
not.
think we
Voltsnue?
can do our best to help.
I mean, I don't know,
Just a
guys. We just
prominent
murdered
trade
like
area.
100 people back there.
We
60.
barely did that.
And we barely lived.
Anyway,
I didn't
Uh.
live. I'm alive now, but I didn't live.
just know that there is a group of gnomes that lives somewhere in the area that yes,
Yeah, right here.
that are very much against other groups expanding too wildly. So do let us know if they try to give you any trouble.
No man, no
Well,
violence.
if they keep their structures underground, the gnomes said nothing about this. They said northwest, east, and south. They didn't say anything about the z-axis downwards.
Yeah, what sort of terrain is around here? Is this still like mountainous or is it more like hilly?
More hilly. This is a narrow valley. It's not very wide at all. Rocky. It's down here actually less snowy than it has been in other parts. And this is the leader you've been speaking to, Taswin.
Can I show her the ore that I have, that glowing ore? And can I be like, hey, do you know how to work with this stuff?
She kind of licks her lips and looks at it concentratingly and pensive and says, "We have learned some techniques with it. Not so proficient as with the commons, steel, mithril, and adamantine, but we have had promising results from it."
What do you guys do with it?
Sykes is gonna eavesdrop on this conversation.
Like anything
We
cool?
have managed to coax some magical properties from it.
Ooh.
Our best results have come from storing spells within it.
Ah. Is it just like you cast a spell into like the ore and then it's within it?
In some instances, in others, we are able to make it like a weapon that can hold a spell within it to be released.
Ooh. Ooh. Girl, that sounds cool.
We have had one, and she kind of hesitates, mostly successful example of a hammer that was able to release a fireball stored inside it when it hit an enemy.
Ooh.
That sounds like a little too close for me with a fireball.
I said mostly successful.
That does sound.
Well, I look at the mage. This sounds much like you were casting in the battle. What did you call them? Cowabungas?
Hey, that's copyrighted.
I sounds like you got competition here, bud.
Very interesting. As like Sykes pulls out the dagger that he fashioned, I've done something similar. This one seems to store lightning.
Okay, tell me why you had that this entire fight and it stores lightning and you didn't use it.
I
Yeah,
did
I'm
use
wondering
it.
the same.
I missed.
Did
I
you?
missed. I missed with it. And then I had to run my ass off to get into the
You didn't
building
use
after I
it.
picked it up.
You didn't use
Yep,
it.
he tried to
You
use
didn't
it.
I threw the dagger and I missed
I didn't
with it.
see any lightning, so you know what?
Because I didn't
You
hit with
didn't
it.
use it. Well,
So-
maybe get good.
Sites, why did you throw
You
it?
all
Just not
remember when I
stab
used
with
it last time? Yes. I
Were you missed as well?
know where I accidentally the
So-
dryads.
I remember none of
You
this.
don't remember that?
No.
Only
You never told us
ever
about those
missed-
sites.
No, it was
Only
like when we
ever
were
missed.
going to track down Nada. And
No,
I
I don't-
threw it at the tree and I fucking blasted the tree down.
I
don't
remember an
recall.
explosion, but I don't remember you killing a dryad.
I don't
Yeah, and
recall.
Stop
that's
doing that. It's like you're gonna ruin our reputation with them. We've never done anything mean to them ever, and you just kill one, testing a dagger.
I think it was an evil one because do you remember it was when all the other twisted ones attacked us in that night?
Or maybe you caused them to be like that.
Ooh.
We do
Perhaps.
still have to figure out why the dryads are turning.
Probably
They're
'cause people keep
probably
killing
pissed
them.
because people keep
Well, the
fucking
orc
killing
logging
them.
camp is probably has something to do with it.
Yeah, I say we long rest here, get a good rest. Like, wait to see if what's her name shows up with any help, and then we head to that camp that's already really weak, and we fuck it up.
First, let's try to convince them to abandon the cause of these bloodcasters.
We
But if they
fuck
refuse,
them
then we kill
up.
them.
And if they don't, right off the bat, we fuck them up.
Yes, but we tried talking first. I have enough of my
For
kid's blood on my
10
hands.
seconds.
So Lauren,
Sure.
you're one person I like to hear talking from. What was the first thing you did to that guy?
Oh, didn't you push him off a bridge?
Go up the ladder and try to engage and try to
And-
convince the bloodcasters and
We should have an easier
multiple
time
different
getting into
other
the
checks.
I mean, they didn't seem to like you very much, but they loved me.
They did. That was very true.
Love is a weird way to be shown when you were
But
lying nearly lifeless on the ground.
You know, they're just
It was-
they're not very
it-
gentle lovers.
I want to make clear that it was at least the 8th thing I tried was pushing that guy off the bridge. And he was all up in my grill.
It seems like it could have been the first thing. You should have tried.
But when you pushed him, did you at least say back off, cuz?
Oh, I didn't
think that
say
is
anything.
what he said. I think he called him cuz a lot.
Oh, they're definitely cousins. but-
Back off, cuz.
Well,
No,
like
that was
pushing-
more the smoldering hatred. I don't want to talk about this
interesting
anymore.
as that is there some portion here, that she kind of gestures around, that you would care to call your own?
I want the top of that
And
rock
which rock?
up here.
I mean, if you
don't
think
build
you can
anything
build
by
on that.
rocks. I was gonna say to the south of the river,
Eh,
probably like
eh.
here.
eh,
What is she doing?
eh,
I think she's trying to climb up.
eh. Hi,
She's
guys.
like, she's like, I
Kelly,
can build
what
a
are you
house-
doing?
She's like, I can build a house for me up here.
I think we
And
can make a
if
house
you
up here.
have any recommendations for how to build in this area in a useful and defensive position.
Perhaps instead of a solid bridge,
A
perhaps one
drawbridge.
that perhaps something that you can control the access to.
Hmm.
And
That way
I
you
would
can
suggest-
fall back from south of this river if you need to.
Perhaps make the uncompleted part collapsible?
Ooh,
I mean,
Yes.
that does sound promising. Something that you can use / resort to protect yourselves. And then I don't know how much experience you have working and living within. I said working, but living within the stone itself. Perhaps building homes into a dwarf-made cavern.
That
To protect
is
you
not
from
our
attacks.
kind of way. We are not the gloomy mountain dwarfs.
Uh,
it
Also,
also sounds like it sucks
are,
because
are
you don't get any sunlight.
perhaps then
also, we would hope to make this place somewhere that others eventually would want to come and live in.
perhaps building homes into the side of the cliff, using the natural resources to provide safety, and
I
then
would
using the land around for farming and other homes.
yes.
That way you can still have the view of the outside without living in a hole in the ground.
Though I would keep that as your fallback point. So
We are
limit the
hoping to keep this as an appealing option for foreigners to come and settle in once we grow successful.
Yeah. Well,
So
imagine
we're
what they
trying
would
not
say
to
about.
militarize, right?
No! Some protection, yes, but not to militarize.
Hold on,
Yeah,
wait, I gotta come back down. I can't hear you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
She's a
Hold on.
little different.
Hold on. Okay, I'm
I
back.
would
You don't say.
Okay, I'm back. We can keep talking. So we don't want to militarize.
I mean,
You could potentially put catwalks higher up on the cliff faces for anyone to observe any passersby.
I would keep a defensive position available in the caves leading to the underground, maybe with some escape tunnels. Because that would be the most defensible position. Yes, build new infrastructure outside, but still have your sort of
and
keep
it works out.
fortress, as it were.
You can use old mine shafts as you get more and more settled to make these secured areas, so you won't have to do too much extra work.
Yes. Because if you can limit the way that the force can enter and narrow it down, you will have a greater advantage.
I also would say possibly trying to source some lumber and generally just making houses.
Yes,
They know
perhaps we
that,
can speak with
but
Voltsnue and Durgheim to provide timber and stone.
I mean, sounds like they can gather stone quite easily given their livelihoods.
Yes, but the less stone they have to cut, the faster they can get to building.
Perhaps. We
Well,
the
like
what we
Koi was
can-
saying, we can rest here and see if Nada's party or anything from Voltsnue arrives.
Yeah. On our way here, you said we passed through what used to be like quarry grounds for them before they moved.
The road was freshly quarried.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. Okay.
Yeah. So this is all pretty recent work here.
Okay.
These are some excellent thoughts. We will get to work. Could we offer to perhaps make a rudimentary home for you? You no doubt will be busy with other matters, we would like to construct something humble but a place for you.
That sounds nice, but
That would be greatly appreciated.
so long as you prioritize your people, and
I would not do anything else.
thank goodness. But you and your people have had a long day today. While we're waiting, perhaps I can play a song to help at least calm the children and bring some peace back to your lives while we're here.
You do honor us by making us honorary members of your clan, but what is the name of your clan that we may now call ourselves a part of?
The Wu-Tang.
I hear they are not anything to be fucked with.
We do not have a name yet. When undergoing such a loss, it is customary to form anew. Do you have a suggestion as heroes and protectors of our clan?
Well, Sykes
Be
kind of
bright,
like gestures towards like the more creative individuals in the group, Harkin and Kelly. Names aren't particularly my forte. But if we are going by familial names, my family name is Gulbrook.
Is that Jewish?
She just shakes her head and says, "Leave it to a man to decide a clan name should bear his family name, so that we are all like descendants from you."
How do you normally form a clan name?
After
about-
a great moment of history, some feature of their home, or after some great skill of craftsmanship or other thing.
I mean,
How about
new
the
Clans
Hope
can range
Forged?
from Dragon Slayer to Stone Valley to Flint Maker.
perhaps
That's a pretty shitty name, though.
perhaps something to do with the waterfall of this new home. Since it is a very prominent feature.
What about the Hope Forged?
Ooh.
That is a little sappy.
The Brook clan
A little.
describes
Ooh.
this small stream.
Brook is pretty good. Yeah.
I
Perhaps
feel like
we
you're
can
still
add
playing
some
off your
color
name.
to it, though.
Verdant?
Something.
The Brook Shield clan. I don't, because you protect this valley. Or yeah, I don't know.
Tazwin kind of like goes, that might work. That is closer to what a clan name might be. And I would not call that waterfall verdant.
No.
Seems much more blue than green, but that is just me.
I was talking more of this valley around the river. But we can't go use Azure because, you know, the Wardens already use that, but I mean, if you want to use that, you know, I won't stop you.
Are you sure you're a bard?
There's sapphire. There is blue.
Yeah, but blue's
There's-
too simple. I mean,
Well, we're not
sapphire
trying to-
does sound good because it to play off the water and that ore.
And they bask off the sound of it. Maybe the Sapphire Song clan?
Perhaps something like Brook Roarer.
Ooh, See, this is why she should be in charge of this group. She's so.
Or Brookbellow.
Ooh.
Sapphire Roar. No, that
No.
doesn't roll well.
That is a hard no.
No. Brook Roar. It's good, I guess.
What do you think of Brookbellow?
Brookbellow sounds
That
nice.
does sound pretty dwarvish.
So be it then. We shall be Clan Brookbellow.
Brookbellow.
We
It
will
also sort of
inform
sounds
the
like you're
t-shirt manufacturers.
It
Sounds-
also sort of sounds like you're below the brook. Which makes a lot of sense because of the
Which
waterfall.
they are. Technically.
That does make sense. And it does inspire a certain roar when we go to battle.
It does. I mean,
Like
it
a-
does.
Bellowing charge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, she's a little special.
Say that one more again, Harkin. Say that one more again.
Hey, is that
This
Ornella
little
over there?
troublemaker was walking last night and stole a homeless man's food while he was asleep.
Oh!
What a dick.
Fully said, well,
Is that how? I think that's how we should spell it. Just
no.
I feel
Were
like
you talking about
Joel's
Toei?
like,
Did Toei do
Eat that
that?
guy's food.
100% how I was.
Well, as founders and concentrated interests in
Partners.
Brookbellow, this feels good.
See.
See what?
But yes, if you have tents that you've set up, we are in need of sustenance and a long night's rest. And hopefully
We-
Nada's forces will be joining us soon to learn about the survivors.
We can do that. Did you pick a lot that you would like? Also, do you have other interests? We will be in need of someone who could run things like a tavern.
Ooh. Ooh.
I do have a knack for business and trade.
Yeah, but your people
However,
don't
the-
have any taverns.
However,
Hey.
the long talks and the stories in a tavern are not quite my forte.
Okay.
I'm trying to mend bridges. Perhaps we should not start with statements like you people.
He's
So, I must say, we are very good storytellers. I come from the Feywild, so like that's cool. My grandma runs a business. My mom runs a business.
Are these real businesses or like?
They sell things.
Okay. I feel like. What about you, Chuck? You've worked in a tavern.
He's cleaned in a tavern.
Yeah, but
cleaned up in
he's-
a tavern.
he's probably learned a lot.
Wait, you want me to run the bar?
Oh, definitely
We
not.
want you to clean the bar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't have to be like every day, but
It would make him happy.
work
Didn't
on the design, run it how you think you would.
Perfect.
We can fill in the rest of the time, but
I'm down.
also, if you could fund it.
I'm down.
You know
I-
what?
I can
To
work
that-
on procuring goods and
I want to do it.
and helping with the design of it.
Yeah, Harkin will give up some of his platinum for a tavern.
I'll punch Harkin in the stomach if he tries to take the tavern away from me.
I mean, you can be there
We
too.
were thanking all of you.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
not just one.
yeah, since Solar gave you 50 for the town, how about like 20 for the tavern?
Oh, you would not have to pay us more, just
No,
the
no.
funds
Pay
to
for the things.
operate
Pay
it.
for the things.
Yeah, here. I mean, 20 platinum would be quite a bit to get it up and running, right?
Okay, but if we keep it,
Gotta
we
be
can
at least 6 months
procure,
operating cost.
like,
I mean, we only have to get
Few
through the
hundred
first
gold.
6 months.
Harkin,
Well,
they
a
want
big
us to
part of
procure
this is
things.
making sure we spend our money
I
on
mean-
the goods that need to get here for the tavern.
Yeah, but they need to build the tavern, and that's going to cost them some capital.
That's gonna cost them their labor. They're building it already, is what they're saying.
But
Ooh,
like decoration and stocking things. You seem as though maybe you have that eye for detail.
Me,
perhaps we can get
I can
those
decorate.
those alcohol makers from the water mill to provide.
It could be something like what is that called? The
Feywild
unusual eye for the rigid guy.
Let's please not.
I was just gonna Feywild theme it, make the inside look really cool, put some really cool like vines, flowers, nature-esque things, cool lighting, make the lighting different colors.
Perhaps something
It feels
a bit
like she's
simpler.
It feels like she's suggesting Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they're
a-
small.
Animatronic animals that only go off once in every 30 minutes.
Well,
Just Chuck E. Cheese franchises all over.
It's like a glyph
A
of warning
giant
that just
animatronic
continually
mouse.
casts like minor illusion.
this sounds expensive.
A giant animatronic mouse that sings awful songs to children.
Oh, we could call it cheddar.
You have nothing but deafening silence from
Yeah, that's awful.
the dwarves.
We'll think of a name. It's
No,
The name I think will come to us, but we will work on this design and we will make sure we procure goods to fill the tavern.
yeah. We need to talk to those water mill guys. Maybe they can make some more of that the alcohol.
Yes, I will speak with some of the connections that I've made in Voltsnue whenever we get back there. Perhaps write them a message and see if they can get us any goods delivered out here.
Well, hopefully, if they're not
It's not quite the same as
set
this
off to
dwarven
the
ale, but
if they're not set off to the gnomes, hopefully the party will be here soon. If we rest here.
yeah.
Yes. As for a plot of land, I do quite like this area by the southern part of the waterfall.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. In my mind, it's like up against the cliff face, and then
Ooh.
if we're building a tavern, you have like a second story balcony. You're just out there looking at the
I mean, we could even cut into
observe the waterfall. So
the stone to make the cellar.
yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool spot.
We're gonna need a good water-resistant paint for all the splash. The waterfall.
no, you
Could
let
build
it.
with stone.
Oh, we could.
That is,
Yes.
yeah.
You build with stone, and then you let the moss grow on it, and it
Yeah.
looks very natural and beautiful.
And it actually moss does make the building cooler.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of like being cool, but like colder.
Both.
Yeah.
There's this city over here called Idar Oberstein, and they literally have a church built into like a cliff face. It's pretty sweet.
Idar Hoberstein?
Oberstein, yeah. Idar Oberstein,
That's a name.
yeah.
Yeah. That sounds
Um,
good.
So, kind of like a plot like this.
Yeah.
Turn it sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, the grid kind of makes it weird. But yeah, something about that size.
Yeah. Right on the road there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Built in the cellar.
I can't really rotate it very well. but-
Yeah, because of
the grid makes it odd.
But more or less, you're able to cut into the cliff face, being on the road. Pretty decent size.
Yeah.
It's a good spot for.
I mean,
That's for a tavern, right?
Yeah.
and
Tavern and
Nope.
homes.
yeah.
Tavern and
Residences
home.
by
I mean,
by
you can
Marriott.
live up top of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we want to
Some
have
quarters.
rooms because then we could if we had rooms, we could rent them out, and then people who are traveling, they could stay above the tavern. That's perfect. We could run
Maybe-
it like a B&B.
We'll definitely keep the attic room with at least like 6 bunks.
You want to sleep in the
Maintain
attic?
this.
That sounds god awful. Let's just have them build us another house.
I mean, we can discuss the
Well, we
details
get
after
one.
we've gotten some sleep.
Yeah.
We get two.
Perhaps. No, they said one. You. Monster.
They said a house and a tavern. Those are two different things.
Harkin will look at the dwarves for any sort of confirmation on what the correct interpretation of this was supposed to be.
They're looking a little bit uncomfortable, and they're like, I mean,
Well, because you do want places for travelers to be able to stay, right? So if we stay above the tavern, it makes it a little difficult to have places for travelers to stay. That's all I'm gonna say.
well, I mean, it is a small undertaking thus far, and we don't exactly have travelers yet. What if maybe you lived in the rooms upstairs until we started to get some traffic, and then by then the town has flourished a little, and we can get you a lot on the edge of town?
Can we be more in the center of town?
Probably not with.
I think-
See how things go.
Time develops.
Got it.
We can.
But I
If
was going to
not,
suggest.
we can always get a chicken foot house, and then we can walk it and put it wherever we want.
Yeah.
I've seen those before.
Is that some
Yes.
kind of horrific joke?
I think
No,
it
there's
don't know.
legitimately houses that walk around on like feet.
She comes from a weird land, but I
They're very.
I do
similar.
agree.
That
Again,
leaves me with a chill that runs up my spine.
They just walk
Yeah.
around on feet.
As
I don't
most
see how
Feywild
that's
things.
abnormal.
But yes, we will stay in the tavern until the resources become more available for perhaps an actual home, as a tavern is, well, a great business opportunity is not quite a home long term.
Unless you're an
No,
alcoholic.
We will, as Cled.
You
knows,
all
get
were talking about
money back
taverns
from
as they were the greatest
dispensations.
thing.
And perhaps
If you're an alcoholic, it's a good home.
Well,
Well.
I think we should start making the rest. Such is not an alcoholic,
Completely
right?
ignored.
Yeah, let's go to sleep for a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurry up, build a tavern so we can sleep in it.
I don't
Um,
suppose any of you have magic that could help accelerate this undertaking.
Ah, I mean, slightly.
I can
Slightly.
I have the ability to give you a motivational speech, but I don't think that will help you with work.
I have something that can
Sometimes my hands have been
mine.
called magic in the things that I've built and
You-
created. Would that help?
Technically, I have something.
I mean, if you
that
want to
can-
make it that kind of a tavern,
Oh goodness.
Oh God. Technically,
That sounds like
I have something that can mine or like do work for an hour.
oh.
You can also inspire
We
the
just need the
craftsmen
tool.
to higher quality.
Yeah, we could also do that.
Like if there's already a tool, I can make it work by itself without you guys having to work.
well, can't you possibly even do more than that?
Shh.
Calling you out. God damn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Koja actually do something. She's like, I don't want to.
I feel like she knows what he's talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's this just feeling I'm getting that
It's
someone has
only-
the ability to support this situation, but they're not.
Koja, do you have any
Listen.
ideas?
Yeah, I can make a tool do a job by itself for an hour.
Can I tell that she's holding information back on that?
Yes.
Wait, no, I at least get like a deception roll.
Go for it.
Come on.
At disadvantage
If
because
I
of that
rolled so
performance.
bad. I rolled so badly.
Oh, no.
fuck. But I do have a +6. So.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
What's the counter to that?
Insight.
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 Oh, my insight is not as good as everything else.
Well, it's
It's better than that. Yeah.
Koei? Why don't you explain the full details of how it's supposed to work?
Why? What do you mean? I can animate something for an hour.
Uh-huh.
It can
And
do job.
I
might also be able to also create something that is under a certain value.
and what would that help with?
And it could be a medium item. I don't know.
Koei. I will help you procure more granola if you tell the truth.
you need to roll a deception check. No, I'm kidding.
Or- Or maybe Benny could tell you his name.
I could also I don't know, make plants grow. But that
What
seems to
do you
piss people
mean
off.
by animating something?
Like if it's a tool or an object or something. Like for example,
How
like
big
if
of an
you needed,
object?
Large.
So, if we were cutting
Trees.
10-foot bricks of stone,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you could get them to move themselves into place?
Only
That
one of them.
At a time, right?
and per 3rd level spell slot afterwards.
Yeah, that would hurt.
I mean, if you're not going to be in combat that day, that is a lot of bricks we could move in a very short time.
Chloe.
But I could also just like make it really quickly by like animating the hammer and making hammer quick job for like an hour, you know.
And
That's
then moving them afterwards also.
Yeah, Chloe. I don't think you can get out of helping with this now. Tell you what, if you
They're
can help
simply
him with
wishing
that,
while
the
you're
entire
here,
interior is up to you.
Don't go that far.
Listen, we have to give her something.
Yes, she can decorate a room or two.
A room
Your
or two?
room.
No.
You can decorate his room, Harkin's room, and your room.
Well, I'm not
I
gonna
will-
decorate your guys' rooms, but if I get to decorate the tavern, I'll help that much.
You can design the stage.
No.
I
You
think
can
that's fantastic.
How about you have
You can theme match the furniture.
I could animate a large brick and have it drop on your head.
As long as you put it in the right spot.
Yeah.
You're like, Sykes, go stand right there.
Go stand
Yeah.
right there really quick. Okay. Perfect.
Yep, perfect. Thanks for marking the area.
how about we let you name the tavern?
I don't know a good tavern name.
I mean, you
Well,
got time
I
to think
can-
of it.
I can quickly fell lumber. That is what I can contribute.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
you
keeps
can?
complaining that people aren't made of trees when he hits them with his axe.
Have
Yeah,
you
people aren't
Never
necessarily
mind.
made of trees.
that access?
Also,
Yeah,
make
where'd
sure
you get
there's no dryads in the trees.
Whoop. Didn't mean to roll.
I think that's just
Wanted
like
to
you
put the
just did this
description
as emphasis to show. You're like,
Yeah.
look at this, all
Just
fucking
Cut a
ooh.
tree in half.
I mean, I can also
There's the
sort
first
of-
one.
I can also sort of help if we're like trying to sort of like shape metal at all.
Well,
Sorta.
you have some time. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have other tasks to get to, being quite busy.
Not
Killing
really.
those elves.
This was
Oh,
our current task.
well, killing
What?
those
Well,
elves.
we do have bases to read.
We do need to make sure
kill
those
elves. Yeah,
it's the dumb one.
we need to kill them.
Put that to rest.
We need to put them all R.I.P. Rest in Punani.
Also, if you have any requests for a temple to be made or a god to be honored, we are not much religious these days, but would understand if you have one you wished to erect.
Correct.
Well, we do owe quite a bit to Tilda, I think.
Who?
Perhaps a church to Tilda.
Really? The god of weakness?
Hospitality.
Hospitality. the
Very
heart.
instrumental
Perhaps we
in
can-
bailing us out so we can continue the fight against the dumb one.
Perhaps we can add a shrine to her within the tavern to make it more
That's-
homey for visitors.
No,
It would
that's
be where
mixing.
she's most
That's
honored.
mixing.
Yeah,
It's
We
mixing
can call the
business
tavern
hospitality.
Tilda's by the brook.
Well, true.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She was the one who saved us in this previous encounter. At least a hearth dedicated to her would go a long way.
If you wish. There are many that do not follow her, seeing it as weakness to ask for so much help, but we trust you.
Was it weakness when you asked us to help?
I am not saying I say that. Just that, other people do.
Yeah, wait until they meet
We do not care
Palakar.
much of the honors of the others.
Because we should make sure there's a room for Falcon.
We care about those who survive.
Who?
Somewhere in the world, Palakar just went, "Aww." Really? Who, after all the help I give?
And there should definitely be a place where that hopefully at some point when I figure it out, I can open a portal to the Feywild. Because it's a pretty fun place and people might want to go there.
Perhaps that's
We're gonna-
a future discussion.
She kind of wrinkles her nose at that and goes, "Really?"
Those who
you
want their
never
souls
been-
stolen.
I was
Yes,
going to say, that doesn't sound appealing.
Houses
Sounds-
that walk. This is quite strange.
Sounds fun to those who intend harm on this realm.
I'm from there.
Exactly.
And why are you here now?
Because I went to go somewhere and I ended up in a random town.
Yeah?
So this portal is for you to get home then?
And other people if they really want to go to.
Very well, we will not object. Just don't want fey creatures stumbling along into here.
We're not bad.
And at least here you don't have to follow their rules.
Plus, if I know, like, where we're going to get the portal to come out, as long as we put it near my grandma's house, we're good.
Okay.
We can even
Well-
put it, like, in my grandma's house.
It
I don't
would be
think your grandma
strange if
would
she was
appreciate
okay
that.
with that.
She likes visitors. She has a really big house. Like, really big house.
Yeah, but isn't it rude for people just to go into the Fae's houses without permission?
Not if you're invited.
Yeah, but
That's
So
what
make
like
the portal-
permission means.
Open
Yeah.
invite. So if you just say, like, open invite,
Somewhere out there, a vampire is licking his lips.
BYOB, bring your own blood.
Well, no, because if it's an open invite, he doesn't have to get invited into the house.
Though he has to do something across the river, hopefully.
The bridge.
Well, no vampires can agree on what qualifies as running water.
That's right.
True.
I don't
we could
understand. Is
tax
it a
people-
bathtub as long as the water's on?
We could tax people that want to use this bridge as well.
Okay, troll.
Jesus.
Well, if you have other things to see to, we will be getting to work.
I think we will take a rest here in hopes that Nada's party arrives. Then we can set off to finish what
Yeah.
we started.
That sounds smart.
Yeah.
Do we just agree to build a city?
Basically,
Pretty much.
Town.
Yeah.
a town.
Yeah. We're gonna help
Not a full
drop it
city,
into-
just a
And we're
town.
well, we are on the board of directors, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So
Why does that seem so foreign to Chuck?
It just seems like a lot of responsibility.
More like you're being given an opportunity to participate in growing a town if you want to.
Seems more
Yeah, Chuck, just
silent investor type thing.
just think about all the
Slash
more
muscle.
Yeah.
how many more places that you get to clean.
I like that's our default argument with Chuck. Like, yeah, dude, you get to clean.
Listen, he's all for it.
So much more square footage.
Looking forward to it.
Just imagine cleaning a moving house, Chuck.
Sounds like a
What
fucking
is with
nightmare.
you and these moving houses?
I've just been told about a couple of them, and I've seen a couple of them in like passing, and so
It would be terrible to go to bed in one spot and wake up in a completely other
yeah,
area.
it seems cool.
If you say so. Sounds traumatizing, and a great way to get lost.
Not if the house knows where it's going.
Why do you think
The
the
house
house is
perhaps-
going to be wanting to tell you?
Because usually the houses are not sentient, so you need to make them sentient.
Then how would it know if it's not sentient?
No, you make it sentient. So that then you tell it where to go, and then you can sort of just like nap and then wake up and be there.
Well, as Koei is giving lots of lecture on the more subtle details of a mobile
She-
house.
She's
mobile home.
face blaming right now.
A mobile home.
Yeah,
So they have single
Um,
wides and double wides.
you can all bed in and get in a long rest while you wait for Nada. And we'll go ahead and take
Can
a
I
break there.
can I spend some time like trying to piece together a couple of those like breastplates to make a breastplate like pseudo armor for Sykes?
There is a portable forge here. Do you have smithing tools yourself, or do you just want to have the dwarves do it?
I have tools. I don't want to make them do all of the work. I have the leather workers' tools and smith's tools.
Then, if you want to give me a check with the smith's tools for how well you craft it.
And then while he's doing that, is it fine if Harkin practices with the rifle?
son of a gun.
Yes. It's a bit complicated because you have like a finite number of shots. Do you remember how many shots you have left over?
See, I know I fired 5 shots, but I don't know how many you fired when I was like gone that one day. Was it 2 shots or 1?
I think just one.
And then
Yeah,
we
it
had
was
what,
only
20
one.
Pretty sure I had what 20 shots together. So that would leave 14.
Okay.
And then we have 6 of the fiend killing bullets.
Points just being when you practice you're using shots.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Oh, I will probably after the rest show them those rounds, see if they can make more.
Okay.
Can I use my DM inspiration to reroll my smith's tool roll?
Sure.
We're trying to get some
Possible.
decent armor here.
Oh my god.
gosh, are we
God.
thinking-
Same thing.
Oh,
Can I give a reaction, Bardic?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I think it's a.
Is it a-
It's a D6 still, right?
D8 at this
D8.
level.
it's a D8. Let's do this. Oh,
my
goodness.
god.
A 12.
I rolled very terribly there.
So
It's
you
okay.
come out with a breastplate that looks kind of badass because there's like very distinct forged lines from all of the different shards and pieces. So it looks like, this overlapping, very tough breastplate of 1,000 pieces. But as it takes blows, these pieces one by one come falling off.
So
Like
keep
chipping
my
away at the
leather
armor
armor
class.
with me. Got it.
It might be really effective at like absorbing blows by losing pieces, but not really what you were going for.
And I imagine how many did I use all 5 of the breastplates to do that with?
We'll say 3.
Even? Yeah.
Would there be a way that I could, like, if they already have material, I could, like, start construction on something with that prior to resting? And just, like, use as much of my, like, performance that I can?
Yeah, walking around, you do find that there's some old quarried stone still here that they'd done when they were actually developing here that's been abandoned since then. So there's a
Perfect.
decent amount that you can move in like a third of the foundation.
Cool. I will do that and use, like, all of that stuff first.
Okay.
Do they seem like, oh my god, that's cool?
Yeah, they're losing their minds watching you do this. It's pretty cool, to be fair.
It is. To be able to just animate construction to construct itself.
You are very much
Playing The Sims.
like, well, I was gonna say like Fantasia, the Sorcerer's
Oh,
Apprentice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like,
thinking about
brooms
earlier when we
over
talked about it.
there, buckets over there.
Giant rock, you're just kind of like waving your instruments and it like rises up and moves over into place.
Watch me be playing the fucking pan flute silence, so it's just silent.
They're like, she's having way too much fun doing absolutely nothing. But those moving rocks are pretty cool.
Weird that it's happening simultaneously to her just dancing around like an idiot.
Oh my god.
Well, you are able to take care of those things, and we'll take a quick bio break there.
Yay.
See you all in a few minutes. that you guys would drum up with having your own real estate and such.
Yeah.
I like
Is
the
Is
idea
the
of having real
tiles,
estate.
are each of these 5 feet, or are they 10 feet? Or
5
how
feet.
big? 5 feet, okay.
This is an approximate, but also like in a tiny little town, do you need bigger than a 50 by 50?
No,
That's
that's all I was trying to do is like see what
It's
the.
a 50 by 50.
That's a big building. Yeah.
Approximate, like it can be more or less, but that's the rough size of the lot that they're offering.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
That's
I
a
mean,
big
yeah.
building.
Oh my god.
That's why they're like, so you wanted this giant ass lot and you want a house for yourselves too? It's like,
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. We can be on the
Oh
third
my
floor
God.
while this is all in construction.
What about third floor? Third floor seems a little up there.
And a 50 by 50?
Yeah, third floor seems a little up there. I don't know
That
if I
would
want to
be
be
a bunch
third
of resources
floor.
to build. Yeah.
Because if we just make it 2 floor, I think we're fine.
to what?
2 floor.
Ah,
What if we make it 3 and then we'll have a compartment for ourselves while maintaining like 12 rooms for travelers?
Yeah.
I mean,
It'll be
Koei's able
floor
to
because
see.
you're gonna need a basement cellar.
Koei's going to be able to sing bricks up onto the top of the second floor if you want to add on to it later.
Yeah. That's true.
God damn it!
Oh
What did
no,
I
you
do
have
to
to work
myself?
the campaign. Oh no.
Well, the funniest thing is it's not even really work for me. It's literally me just fucking playing music and it just fucking flying up there. So it's not like I'm doing any physical labor.
And I
just
mean,
one of
like,
those
this is a
things
pretty
when it
core
turns your
feature of your class, of your
Yeah,
subclass.
yeah,
It seems like it's
I
cool that you would
know.
have this opportunity to make use of this
Yeah.
feature.
But it does turn
Okay.
the artist's work into actual work.
Into
So
actual
does that
work.
yeah
Come on.
produce inspiration?
God, what a... I'm never working with musicians again.
Can I just make it fucking flat? Oh, there we go. Eh.
Yeah, 25.
So after
100
your-
square feet is pretty good.
After your long rest, the next morning as you wake up, the dwarves are busy at work already with the sounds of pickaxes and stone chisels working as they're hacking and chipping away, building up the bricks from like some ways to the south over here. They're quarrying into the cliff face.
Cool.
Tazwin comes over looking rather sweaty and dusty. Well, we've got the bricks enough for the whole first floor. Moving them will be a chore as we've no beasts of burden with us.
I don't think it'll be that big of a chore.
Well, not either.
Just saying.
As we said, though, we understand if you are busy. We will be happy to begin work on the bare bones and give you something to have shelter with, if you have other matters to deal with. As she's talking from over here, you hear the whinnying of horses as you can see helms from above, poking up above the rock.
Well, it seems the delegation from Voltsnue might be soon upon us.
As you see them drawing in, they ride down as there's about 20 knights or armored individuals on horseback coming down with lances, hammers, and bows. And as they make it to here, they kind of pause to a stop, and one pulls off the helm. As you can see, it is Nada, and she says, "It is good to see you, friends of Voltsnue.
Hi.
I take it everything is okay with the matter of the gnomes?"
Chloe, what did you tell her?
Whoops. I'm gonna go work on the tavern design really quick. I'll be back. Hold on, bye.
We,
We've been scouring the countryside these last 6 hours in search of the gnomes. We are delighted to see that you are okay, though.
Chloe is different. She thought the dwarves were gnomes. We have already solved that issue.
As you say that, Tazwin and the other dwarf women all turn and are like, "Sorry, what?"
I said it once!
In
I said it
disbelief.
one time! One time!
No, we
Yes, the important time.
we have dealt with the issue that was plaguing the. Well, in a sense, it was quite costly to do so, but
We routed a raiding party of the Delwyn that were attacking the dwarves in their blood feud. Most of the male dwarves perished in the fight, and we were going to make our way back to finish the job as we have found their encampment.
Do you think that they would continue to press this matter further with so many of their own lost?
Probably not.
Most likely
Perhaps.
not, and we may be able to dissuade the rest now that the poisoning influence has hopefully been removed.
I
It
would
be great to
prefer-
get them to the table to talk.
I would prefer not dealing a brutal blow. You've made your point, and that it would suit them far better to come to the table now, or at least go off and lick their wounds.
I mean, there's
This
like
is
it
the
does go
tact
a lot.
This is the tact we wish to pursue when we meet them again. We
There
mean
is
to
no
return.
cause to commit some horrible genocide and only further inflame all involved.
There isn't?
These ones have been disillusioned
What have you
by those
done?
who led them. We have defeated
Well-
their leaders, and hopefully we can dissuade them from any
To be
further
fair, we-
course.
we did kill like 80% of the people already.
To be fair, they attacked us.
We defended.
They did.
She holds up a hand and she
80% of
says,
the-
yes, I understand that was well earned, but going back and slaughtering the rest of the camp might only agitate things more.
Yes,
We
we
mean
aren't
not to
doing that
slaughter.
yet.
We mean to drive the rest off and pursue that this is a terrible message and hopefully remove the disdain of these bloodcasters. We do not mean to slaughter the rest of them.
I mean, Solar, we have already killed like a majority of them. There was like only 80 of them, and we killed at least 60.
Yes,
Plus,
but we can
Nada's eye
save.
goes up at
We
that.
can save the last 20.
Perhaps we just leave them on their own, and if they cause further issues, we can deal with it then.
They must be
I
made
think it would
aware.
be
They
better-
must be made aware of their
But must it
incorrect
be us
thought
that do?
process. Yes.
But isn't free thinking a core philosophy of your people? Perhaps Tori Latar and his people may be better suited to convince them than us.
Is it not us who convinced those who held Nada to change their course?
It was, but I don't think they'll take kindly to you after you push that guy off the bridge.
Ooh, that is true.
My people,
Well, I think that they
my people
all
respond
rally
to
under a
strength.
common cause.
Yes, he is correct.
They didn't do it then, and then they chased us and attacked
Well,
the
the
dwarves.
common cause was those foul bloodcasters hunting us.
I think it's best to leave them as is.
Yeah.
Maybe
If we allow them to continue the thoughts that they currently have, then they'll just get more. But if we make our motives known to them, then we declare to them what they should do.
perhaps
Perhaps we can win them to our side.
perhaps a group other than us should engage in that sort of talk, given our relation with them currently.
You
My
think?
people
I think-
respect power and displays of it to determine the philosophical position that they take.
Certainly to return
If-
to them after having evaded so many of them would show that we are in fact powerful and perhaps give us leverage in bringing them
I believe Mr.
out
Sykes
from where
is
they
correct.
Harkin is very much against going back because he knows that it'd probably end up in a slaughter, given their fervent belief system.
I thought you were going to talk shit about me.
And I think perhaps we leave this to more diplomatically inclined peoples.
Me!
Yeah, Toby can go by herself.
I feel as though we're diplomatically inclined.
Who is more
How did-
diplomatically inclined than a collective group of all races represented?
I heard all racists represent.
Yeah, I heard this. I heard the same thing.
I heard all racists.
Races.
I believe we have excised the threats. I think
All the
just
races.
bringing to their
Yeah, I
attention.
believe you'll find that we're species now.
That I mean, true.
I
Hold
don't
on,
know
a
what I
chart.
am. I'm half of a lot of things.
Who? I don't understand.
I, for one, would like to return to my brothers and dissuade them of this path that the Bloodcasters have called.
There is another matter to discuss, Nita, as we've discovered other things as well.
But perhaps you should also talk to the new leader of the dwarf clan.
Me.
Given that you're already here, as far as future parade, given the loss in numbers and their new settling project.
Shouldn't I be giving my condolences to the gnomes first?
There's no gnomes.
She looks at you and goes, I know. That was
Chloe-
a dig.
Blame Koei. She didn't consult us. I'm
It's
very
not
sorry.
my fault. I'm just gonna say that from way far away because I've definitely walked away at this point to
I like
a
to
point
think-
where I'm like over just sketching in like a sketchbook.
I like to think everyone's like turned to watch her. Perhaps now she'll actually move the bricks around. Be like, see, I'm helping them right now. I'm too busy.
No, actually, I'm just sketching.
Though, Nada, I would like to introduce you to Clan Brookbellow. Newly formed. And
Has a
supporters
nice
of
ring to
cause.
it.
It is nice, right?
Right? So nice.
You know, if you were thinking of tavern names, one idea might be the Drunk Monk.
Ugh,
Wait.
no.
Ooh, but Chudge already has a big head, and we don't
We
want
don't
to
wanna-
inflate it any further.
Do not see
Dude.
any monasteries near here.
Yeah, the only one was burnt down.
I said, anyways, we'll discuss that later. But as this the dwarves have to get settled here, perhaps it would be the best time for Voltsnue and them to discuss the future of trading relations. Given the circumstances, the old agreement may not quite fit at the moment.
Nah.
Yes, they are gonna need some resources procured, and I think they're more than willing to make good on trade to help establish this
And
newly
according to-
found clan's territory.
And according to the dwarven women, this was their first prospect and their what they believed to be the best prospect versus where they had moved to.
I think it would be
Think we
best
could-
to.
Reach an understanding of an advance of credit for future consideration.
Definitely.
I will leave that to the dwarves to discuss, as this overall will be their home, even though they have offered us a place within it.
Nada kind of gives a nod and says, I will speak to the clan leader now then. Thank you
Appreciated.
for all you've done, even if you sent us on a wild goose chase.
That wasn't my fault.
It was a little bit her fault.
It's entirely her fault.
You've done some great good for the well-being out here.
We did?
You've
Yes,
saved
killed
this
many
clan.
of my kin.
Ah, perfect. Okay, yeah.
Perhaps a small. Just how many horsemen are with her?
There are 20 in total.
Perhaps
That's
if we
plenty.
could, if Solarn insists upon going back to the remaining blood mages or blood elves, perhaps a few of your men could be spared to have a greater show of force as
Assist.
far as getting them to back down on their position and perhaps move in peace.
I think going with a large contingent would probably show them that we are more apt to violence instead of peace.
So we are
Yeah,
not
but
fucking
I-
around.
I don't think I really want to get in a 2-to-1 fight again.
But I understand your concern. I think a contingent here to protect this settlement as it grows would be more important.
Yeah, but we can't dictate the permanent stationing of these troops. This would
If I
merely
was
be-
to be seen to go with you, that would also likely solidify that Voltsnue is against the Delmwyn.
I believe
I
these
believe
are.
this is
as
something for me to. This is a confluence of philosophies in my own kin. If
Or
we are
perhaps
to, if we were to bring a few of the heads of the bloodcasters and convince my kin of their folly following these ones, it might be an easier blow than to see that the invaders are grouped against them.
That is my point. I understand show of force, but I fear our presence would only inflame that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think us going back after defeating so many of them would do the same. Perhaps Kirilatar and his people might be better suited to bringing these Delmen back into the fold of non-blood magic. rather than us.
Then if you leave me the heads, I shall send an emissary to Kiri Lotar and attempt to convey those feelings.
The heads of what?
Solar, does that
The Bloodcasters.
appease you?
Oh.
I feel like it would be better if I attended.
You don't have to shoulder your people's burdens solely on yours. Many respect Kirlitar, as I've been told, and perhaps his presence would be a unifying force for him.
Sorry, out of character. Who's Kier Lotar again?
He's
The guy from Teneth Noir.
yeah, he's the one who gave us the necklace.
Oh, if another
That-
if another dwarf
Yeah.
or if another Downwind's going, that's fine. I
Yeah,
just
he's
want
a-
Downwind to head the negotiations.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
he brought up Kirlitar.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be that way we can not conduct a genocide.
Damn it.
Can we say that I collected the pinkies of the Bloodcasters or some sort of defining mark I can give
Yeah.
to their negotiation team?
Something to prove that they were bloodcasters and like, hey, we didn't just kill a bunch of random Delmwood.
Yeah, throw it down. It's
Yeah.
like the Bloodcasters have treated you wrong, blah blah blah, or have led you astray, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
No, Kiri Lotar and Native had a decent, respectful relationship. He's been relegated to second tier leader because so many are going with the militants. But she's saying if you think it'd be better for the Delwyn to bring the news, she can message him and have him pass on all of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine with Solarin. If he's not gonna head negotiations, as long as there's some Delwyn in front of him, I'm cool with that.
Yes, I think time is of the essence, though, so they don't have an opportunity to regroup and continue.
In that case, I will take those and we will depart here and head straight towards Kiri Lotar and speak to him at once.
Sorry to put you in this position, Governor. But
I asked you to come and help with this, and you have done that. It is now my duty to complete that in the most peaceful way possible. You have nothing to apologize for.
before you head out, as we had discussed with the dwarves here, it might be a matter of having some of the dwarves within Voltsnue move out here to this new encampment to help them regain footing. Is that something that Voltsnue can handle at the moment?
She frowns a little bit at that and she says, "While I want the well-being of all dwarves here and to maintain good relations, I'm not delighted at the prospect of losing more of the much-needed citizens of Voltsnue
How
to
about
support this new endeavor."
a temporary workforce? I'm sure there's construction is starting to slow in Voltsnue as the population is no longer being is it still being regularly supplemented with settlers frequently
Yes.
or no? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that had slowed down a bit.
She shifts in the saddle again and says, "I will discuss these with Tazwin. We'll come to some arrangement."
There is
You
one
can
last
sense
thing.
her unease at this topic, though.
Perhaps this will be a way around the gnomes' restrictions of Voltsnue's growth with such close diplomatic ties with another settlement.
And having an outpost at such a strategic location as a river crossing is never a bad sight to have.
It could also be seen as attempting to subvert the treaty I just signed with them.
That is true. They said
Yes, it's
north. They did say north, south, east, and west, but they said nothing about down. It's a matter if these ones sort of keep to the underground or not.
Like we just discussed this. They're not mountain dwarves. Remember?
Yeah.
I will speak to Tisvin.
Yeah. We're not the most diplomatically versed.
She's like, can you like chill? Like, not only are you trying to get me in trouble, you're also trying to give the house away. She's like, why don't we just completely like just close up Voltsnue's doors and all move out here?
I mean,
Perfect. I mean, why not?
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I can
probably
see the
important
point
that
of
they
view.
don't claim dominion of this territory and leave this to the clan.
But this would provide resources Voltsnue.
yes, they
We
can
can
have a
always
trade
talk about
agreement
it.
without officially resizing it as part of their territory, thus
Yeah,
sort of
so-
scooping along the rule. Voltsnue is
you
not
know-
expanding, but this township is.
Yeah, we merely made a contract with the dwarves to send them labor.
I want success for them, but I'm not jumping for joy at the prospect of losing so many of our hard-earned citizens and our progress. I
There
would
is an
rather
alternative
not
for
see
labor.
an exodus of our people.
I do not believe this settlement will draw that many, and I believe these women do not want an overwhelming presence.
And I'm sure you have
those in
no
the
stake
dwarven
in the
corner.
matter.
Yeah, we do.
Of
You gave
course,
us
I
plenty of money.
have as much stake in the matter as I do with Voltsnue, as I do with the Delwyn, as I do with every other creature in this environment.
Some of the
I have a
dwarves
stake
look at
in
you and
all.
go, "You own land in all of those places?
No,
He doesn't.
he's just talking
Not
And
shit.
Same.
you are clan members with an equal share of profit?"
No, you're the only group that we made that deal with.
Nada on her horse is just like, "And please tell me more about how you wish for me to divert funds from Voltsnue to here?"
Perhaps
we will speak with
I
the
remember
dwarves
saying-
and arrange our own procurement
We have not
of
asked
goods
for
from
funds
them.
at all.
I mean, to be fair, we were gonna we're helping them. We gave them funds to spend on this thing. It's not like we're asking you to do this of just pure parody.
But it also doesn't leave you entirely without motivation for the benefit here. So perhaps we
but-
Not at
should
all.
just cool on the advice a little bit.
No, we were
That's like being a board member and suggesting that you invest heavily on this other business
Yeah, we're
that you happen to
lobbying
own
right
50%
now. We're
of.
100% lobbying.
Yeah, we're like we hold
Well, we are,
two
but we're
positions. of-
investing in it. We're investing in a company that's going to have logistical value for the other company that we have fucking diplomatic fucking
Yeah, but to try to require the other
process
side
with.
to
That's
Perhaps
a lot
we-
of
yeah,
fucking.
and the other side like require
As like
Yeah,
a
perhaps we
governmental
are,
agency.
a bit too close to
I
both
think I
sides,
will take my own counsel on this matter then.
as is your duty.
But did you not send us into did you
Duty.
not
Nada
send us
chuckles.
into this community to bring him into the fold of Voltsnue, which we have done?
It
You
sounds
say
rather
into the
like you're trying
fold.
to do the opposite.
Not really.
Listen,
When we're
I mean, if
funding
they-
a ally of Voltsnue,
but think about this, Governor.
that
If
doesn't.
the are in the fold of Voltsnue, this would violate your agreement with the gnomes. If they're independent, you have nothing to worry about.
I think it's best if we
That's why I'm
create our
saying
own trade
allyship.
accords with Voltsnue in this township that we're creating. Not to
Is it-
require Voltsnue to give anything. It is something we're going to have to pay for.
And just think
I
how this will
will
help the economy.
I will speak to the clan leader and arrive at my own decision. Thank you.
Very good.
And she
Okay.
dismounts and goes striding past you.
How annoyed
We can
does
also
she
go
seem?
to Durgheim and see
Yeah,
if
get
they.
them to invest in it also.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I mean,
did you just say
like,
how annoyed does she seem?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is all international treaties based on interdependency of economic interests? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Only
like,
in the
my
20th
mind,
and 21st centuries.
Yeah.
That's a
In my
rather
mind-
new construct.
Sykes is looking
Which
at
is
it
what
like
we're
this
trying
is
to bring.
a trade venture where he's like, hey, I don't want you to give us the goods. We're gonna barter for them.
We're gonna get them
I just-
goods.
Versus like, the original stance of like, hey, can you just send your dwarves over here? It's like, no. If we want labor, we have to barter for the labor. If we want the resources, we have to find a way to actually
Well, it
procure them.
seems like
Yeah.
That's more
that
what
has
Sykes
been
is
the
like going for.
principle of Voltsnue, is bringing multiple races together in a sort of interdependent economic fucking increase.
To Voltsnue is Nada's position.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
her.
Right. Like,
Which-
That is her
so to
charter. That is
interpose like a
her-
different colony
Which a clan
or
holding the
like, set a
resources
precedent
of a
where-
certain area.
I mean, we were pushing
It's
her
like
a lot
also
on like, hey, how
charged with
about
spying
helping
on
people?
Durgheim. So
While Nada's talking to the new chief, Harton's gonna try to talk to any of the dwarves who know how to do metalworking about making more bullets.
As
Rather
you
just
show it to
metal
them, they're
worker,
kind of
but-
like, this looks like gnomish work. We are fine smiths, but these small, delicate mechanisms is not our strongest suit.
You can't even make these like, because I assume the bullets are just balls of metal, correct? The rounds.
They
Do you
actually
not have children with delicate fingers?
The bullets here, they actually do like a reverse rifling. So instead of it being a rifled barrel, it's smooth bore with rifled bullets is the design that they've come up with.
Ah,
Are you saying
That's
that
sort of
the gnomes are greater than your
Seems
people
a lot
in
more
the
complicated.
metal craft?
Well, I mean, yes, they're experimenting. They have- Do you know how long muskets were a thing before they thought to rifle the barrel?
Yeah.
quite
It was a
Wow.
long ass time.
About 50 years.
No,
No, it was way longer than that, and even
it
then,
was
like,
way longer than that.
From musket to rifling?
Yes,
yeah,
it was hundreds of years.
I mean,
Is
if
it
you go
was
back to
easier
the
to-
Chinese fucking rocket engines, sure.
No,
I mean, because even that it was just like fireworks. But I feel like it
musket
was
to
harder.
rifling?
Yeah, because you have to think it's harder to do the rifling within inside the barrel than the outside of a round. Because you would need like specialized tools, and then like you would need someone experienced to do so. Whereas honestly, with the rounds, you could probably make a mold and just pour like cheap metal into it, and not actually have to do any real work. It was for mass produced.
Well, Harkin, you may not have a lot of confidence in my ability, but I can perhaps take a look at this. I can tinker a little bit. I'm skilled in quite a few different tool sets.
I will give one of the rounds to.
We can make it. Don't try to get us competitive with the gnomes. I'm just saying this is not our strongest suit, much like they are not good at making hefty armor and fine axes and hammers.
Yes,
True.
indeed.
Fuck
But,
them.
They make clockworks. We make towering buildings, okay?
Yeah, imagine what this will do though for your society and learning how to improve upon
I said
this.
we'll do it. You don't need to try to con me into it.
Tell you what, if you can make anything better than this, I'll probably invest heavily into whatever smithies that get built here.
We're already investing.
I know, but invest more. We've
We're
invested
already
in the
investing
town,
pretty heavily.
but if they make Solarin did.
I'm just saying.
What Harton does with his funds is his
I mean,
deal.
we've committed to it. It's a,
Yeah, but this
it's
is
a
a
pretty big.
bonus to make more rifle rounds for Harton.
Get to work. I'll get to work.
So you're
Thank
going to
you.
support the bullet industry in
I mean-
this town.
Wild.
I mean, I'm the only one with a musket at the moment, so
That's awful.
Not
Oh,
really.
We
okay.
should all
Fancy
have a
round.
musket at this
Okay.
point.
That's
Well,
because you
then-
won't let me look at it to try to make one.
I don't think you have the skills of the gnomes.
Oh.
Well, that's
I
because
think
you
you
haven't
got
allowed me
about-
to try.
50 to 75 years before smoothbore to rifling.
You're just holding fast to that timeline, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that hard in development after.
It was 500 years from smoothbore to the first known rifle, and it was 900 years before rifles became commonplace.
They did not have
Oh.
smoothbore in 1300s.
They had it in the 10th century.
I mean, yeah, because you gotta think it was like cannons and stuff,
Bullshit.
and then they slowly started moving
Wild.
back. It was like they knew how to chuck huge rounds out of things for quite a long time.
And then
Cannons.
they had a number of little hand cannons, and like in the 13th and 14th centuries, there was I forget the name of, like a Arbitros or something like that. It was like a
That's a
early
bird.
version of a musket. No,
That's a bird.
albatross is a bird.
Oh.
Yeah.
The arquebus.
That's the name of it. Yeah, thank you.
That's a bird. Shows how
But all
much
of those
I
are
know.
just on the principle of smooth bore.
Shows how much I fucking know.
Put that stuff in there, jam it down there, and just let it.
That's a
rip.
bird.
And then there was this crazy tech for an expanding bullet so that it would press itself against the barrel to go better, further, longer.
I feel
Yeah,
like
there-
it just gets stuck.
It wasn't massively expanding, but the idea of pressing it tighter against the rifling improved it because they didn't have the precision to make
Yeah.
bullets that were so close in size to the barrel as
First-
easily.
Yeah, first rifling is about 19th century, and the first gunpowder smoothbore is like 13th. So yeah, about 500 years. Okay.
Hey, they crazy.
Anyway,
There were Chinese fire lances in the mid 10th century.
What about Chinese fire drills?
They've had those for a long time. Anyways, so this is an early experimentation. Rifling may come along the way, but for right now, their idea is the bullets themselves. And if you think about it, if you have expert craftsmen at tiny things, this kind of is like a brilliant version of patent protection. They're like, we know we could do this another way, but if we do it the other way, anyone could replicate it. So let's just do it this way, so it's way harder for anyone to replicate, and no one will realize that there's an easier way to do it.
We just got to patent this shit early. Yeah.
Or just make it so that nobody else's hands can do it except for dwarf children slave labor.
Oh my god.
That's
my
fine.
god.
If it's anything we
Well,
got is dwarf children.
You have an
Slave labor.
abundance of those right now.
Their hands will.
Dwarf children slave labor.
Hey, if you've got it, use it.
Yeah.
The dwarf mothers are
Okay.
like, I don't see any parents, any fathers here. I'm not going to have any freeloaders. Get to work.
Yeah.
Damn. You have
So
an
they're going to...
autopsy table?
Oh, what?
An autopsy table. Sorry, I was looking through things. I spoke outwardly.
Oh, I thought you were asking for one in the town. I'm like, why are you going to need that?
Can we also
Yeah, you're not a doctor.
Can we
That's the
also
first
have
thing
an
any civilization would build, obviously.
an autopsy table for me?
We need to
Practice.
find out why they died. Cut
And
him
how
open.
to dye them better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
So you leave them that prototype. You can request other things as they have a very rudimentary forge here. It's like some stone bricks, a portable forge set, and a barely more than a campfire. But they're getting to work on the things that they need. If you want to submit any other requests. Beyond that,
If you find adamantium, start building that into armor.
Yes, that would be excellent.
'Cause
I'm
I
not
have to
sure
take
we're
all
gonna
the
find a
shots
lot
for
of
these
adamantium.
fuckers.
but sure, I'll keep an eye open for adamantium.
Good. All right.
But they do seem happy with you taking off for a while, especially how much you're getting underfoot. And like up their asses. They're like, please, seriously, you can go. We've got this.
They're like, yeah, they're like, we offered our hands in that. It's just like, now you won't leave us alone.
Damn. Okay, I guess you guys don't need my help anymore. That's fine. I don't need to keep moving bricks.
I mean, if everyone else wants to go and you want to stay, we're okay with that, but we've got work to do for a while.
We are most pleased. Well, where do we go from now? Because our quests are fulfilled. For the most part.
I mean, we could build more.
We can
Nada's
perhaps
emerged from the discussions a short while later and goes straight to her horse, climbs up, and then rides off with her men, heading towards Kirilotar.
Oh.
we should probably at least let the dwarves and Voltsnue know that things have been handled on this side.
Perhaps after we know what the governor wants, is I don't want to step on any toes here.
I think if we're giving information, it's not stepping on toes.
Yeah, how would that be stepping on? And whose toes?
Not my toes. I have expertly crafted shoes that protect my toes.
Oh, we should have mentioned feet. Now Sex is never going to shut up about it.
Can I step on his toes?
So you thinking of heading back to Voltsnue?
It's Voltsnue
mean-
or Durgheim.
First, can
I
I
think
step
those are-
on his toes?
I mean, Durkheim hasn't really had need of us. I don't know how much good we can do there. They're very much solve it on their own type of people.
Yes, but I think procuring
And they don't
resources
have.
for the township here would be a great place to go to as well.
We can return to Voltsnue and engage the two magical clans there to discover more about this continent. I would suggest going with the fire brigands. They seem ones who can pull strength from this land.
The fire, what?
Very well.
Sorry, going back to the books. What are they called?
They're part of Flaghammer, aren't they?
Flaghammer.
Yeah. Translated to something like Fire Fist or something like that.
Mhm.
They fist fire?
Yes, indeed.
Well,
That seems dangerous.
How else to get control of it?
Well, let's make our way back to Voltsnue. There are some other business matters that we can attend to there as well.
Then, as you set off that way with Nada riding towards Kiri Lutar, as you are off traveling that way, could I get from Harkin a dexterity ability check from your time practicing with the musket?
Yep. You said ability check?
Yeah.
I don't know if that did the ability check, but we'll see.
That
the
was a
same-
saving throw.
Yeah, hold on.
You don't get the bonus, so it's just an 11.
Yeah.
You're slowly, awkwardly making progress with the musket as, like, you're getting better at the shooting, but you're still awkward at the loading processes.
Okay.
So your aim is improving, and you're almost proficient with that, but it's still taking a long time in between shots.
Okay.
But I am going to mark you down as proficient with the musket. You just still have the action long loading time.
Okay.
Nice.
Does that help reduce the chance of it
No.
misfiring? Okay.
It's like an inherent thing with all firearms, right?
Yeah, like if you get lots of practice, what you'll be able to do is start unjamming it as a bonus action.
Okay.
But right now you've been emphasizing a lot more on shooting and less skill at the in-betweens. And so you'll get proficiency in shooting this, which will improve your chance of hitting, but the tedium time is still
Gonna take some work.
Yeah.
I mean, hitting things more often will be nice.
Yeah. I mean, you've been pretty consistent with it so far.
I think I've only missed like twice.
Yeah.
Something which is amazing because right now up until now you've had no bonus to it. It's been a straight D20 roll.
Yeah.
As you're off traveling, could I get a perception check from each of you?
Ooh.
Driving my dog crazy. Wants to play fetch, and so I'm just bouncing it off the wall straight back to my
Ooh, I
hand.
got a 22.
I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
God damn.
So I can see into the future.
While actively sketching in a sketchbook while walking, I'm also receiving so much.
As you're plodding along back towards Voltsnue, You pause in the middle of the forest as you see a few fallen logs, half buried by snow. But when you draw closer, you see that they are 3 orc bodies laid
Ooh.
out in the middle of the forest. They seem to have only been there a short while.
Do we recognize them as the orcs that we saw on our way down back to the dwarven tower?
They do not look like those orcs.
You said there's some like fallen logs. Are they like chopped logs or
No,
like...
at first they look like logs. It turned out to be bodies.
Oh, okay.
Are they face down, face up?
Face down.
Okay. Are there any distinguishable signs of like struggle or injuries on the bodies?
One has their throat slit.
Great.
Another has puncture holes on the side of their neck. A third seems as though they were crushed to death, as like their ribs are completely broken and collapsed in on itself.
I wonder what sort of beings to have done this.
Lauren sort of immediately suspicious of dryads. Can I try to track anything back to trees or trunks?
The causes of death don't strike you as being dryad related. Perhaps the crushing, but the puncture wounds and certainly the throat slitting do not seem like what a dryad would do.
How big are the puncture wounds? Are they about the same size you would get with an arrow, or do they seem
smaller than an arrow, like darts at the biggest, possibly teeth?
Maybe gnomish.
What's in their possession?
Yes. Sykes will inspect their bodies.
Are stripped of all belongings, just in plain clothes. You can see signs like bruising or even the depressions in the skin that they were wearing armor, but it's all been removed.
And there's no identifying marks on them?
Like tattoos? No.
Yeah, anything that would.
How far outside of Voltsnue are we?
Still almost 2 full days.
Okay. And this is quite far from Durkheim, correct?
Yes.
And quite far from where we've established the camp.
Another half day or so from the camp that you've made it so far.
Are there any tracks in the area from where they came, or any tracks leading away from them in the snow that we could see?
You could give me a survival check as you look around. You might need Koi's help with this, with her +2 bonus.
With my
+2. My god!
Jesus fucking Christ!
Somebody.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You are like the best amateur at this.
I'm just like, hold on, guys. Let me look. Jesus Christ. Okay. Folds up the sketchbook, puts it away.
You do find tracks that it looks like they've actually gone to pains to conceal. There's like branch brushes across the ground trying to cover it up, but you are able to follow it back to a well-concealed cave opening in a very small rocky outcropping. There's just this like crevice that looks down, and you can see like a crude entrance down into the ground.
It's these little bitches that live in the ground and not in trees.
How big were the tracks? Were they
pretty small, like regular humanoid footprints,
okay? Yeah.
and trying to be ginger.
So if I put my foot next to it, and by foot I mean hoof. If I put my hoof next to it,
I like to think they're bigger than your hoof.
And as you are looking there, you can see etched into the stone in the side of this little crevice are some inscriptions in Orcish.
What do they say?
So secret.
Well, it
what do they say?
appears this is a training grounds for the Gurosuru orcs.
Okay.
And can Harton use comprehend languages to verify this?
Yes. Harkin can.
He'll place his hand on the stone next to the writing to see if he can.
You're just like, it's not that I don't trust you, but, trust but verify.
Yeah, I am slowly confused by Harkin's demeanor and his stance towards Sykes at this point.
Harkin, it sort of seems like you don't trust Sykes.
It reads as Gur's Uru Training Field.
He's telling the truth. I didn't know if he knew how to read or not.
His own language?
Well, of course he's telling the truth. It is Sykes. He would never steer us wrong.
I don't know what has given you the idea that I would lie to you. My life would be at stake just as much as yours here. This is that group of orcs that we encountered earlier on our way to meet the dwarves.
The secretive ones
the guys
that
I talked to?
were like, oh, it doesn't matter why we're out here, mind your own business type people.
Yes, the ones that, when we pleaded for help.
Do you believe that they killed their own kind? Because it seems odd that
it's a training.
Killers...
If they were doing I don't think they would kill their own kind. I think they were training in an area that perhaps maybe they weren't versed in. There could have been other actors in this forest here that caused them harm, but this group of orcs are pretty strong. So if we do encounter them again, it would probably be best to mind our manners around them.
Can I cast dancing lights and just
three dead orcs back the way we came from to what seems like some sort of secretive off-site training. It seems like they're pretty hostile already.
As you're discussing this, you start to notice and also hear you catch a horrible whiff of stink, and you notice that there's a great many flies buzzing around as it seems as though the smell is coming from the other side of the rocky outcropping.
Can I send a dancing light through the outcropping? The thing? To sort of illuminate as far as I can see with them?
Yeah, this is more of it's on the other side of a bunch of rocks, so you don't have line of sight.
Okay, yeah, I just want to see inside the rock to make sure that nothing's going to crush us or
Looking through, there's crude stone steps down, but there's not any creatures or anything down the steps visible.
Who would use this as a training field? This is disgusting.
Which guy?
The weird tentacle guy that got summoned that Harkin befriended.
The Vinny?
Yeah, did he come with us or is he staying with the dwarves?
He's with you still. I mean,
What do you make of
I
it?
don't know. I'm not from here. Never seen anything like this before.
Oh.
This putrid
this a normal
mass
smell
is
for you?
not a part of.
And he sniffs and he goes, "Oh God, is that me? I didn't make
No.
that, did I?
No, that's the smell of death.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I was worried it was something serious for a second.
I mean,
Sense.
death
Best to be on
for us
guard.
is pretty
This
serious,
land.
but do you mind going in there to see what's going on?
Why me?
Why are you sending him?
You're
Just Harkin, are you a coward?
I mean, you
This is
float, so you won't
expendable.
make any sound going in there, right? So you could be super stealthy.
You
Oh, it's
float
like
too.
that, is it?
If I throw
sounds like
you
you're
in
trying
water, you
to
probably
send
float.
him into harm's way.
You know what? Harkin's just gonna
When
walk
we
in.
talk about matters
Perfect.
of trust here, that's not very trust building.
Oh,
You're not gonna investigate the death first? I thought that was a relevant clue.
I mean, we have to go in there to see it.
No,
Bye,
so the smell's
Harkin.
coming from the other side, not from down.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I
Bye.
wanted him to investigate the smell.
Okay, yeah. He
I was like-
just looks at you and starts floating around to the other side of the rocky outcropping. Yeah, I mean, there's bodies over here.
Jesus Christ.
Do they look like the other ones?
Yes, Sykes will go around and get a look at these things.
I mean,
if we're
relative to what? If you mean compared to me, then yeah, they're identical.
Wait, what?
You're asking a flump if they look like the other bodies. He's like, I mean, they got 2 arms, 2 legs. Yeah, they look
Drawing
exactly
all
like.
the 99% genetics that make up like humanoid creatures.
To be fair, I only sent him because he could probably
has,
handle
like,
the smell.
6 suspensions.
I can't imagine if we're smelling it from where we're at behind the rocks compared to them. Like, the smell in Netstone must be, like, atrocious.
As you kind of come around and look also, you see an open mass grave, as there is just a pit filled, and in the pit you can see a few humans dead. There's 2 gnomes visible, a few miscellaneous fey creatures, almost a dozen elves, and mixed in them are a number of other unusual creatures. As you can see, a couple of like bears, an owl bear, and a few monstrosities that none of you have ever seen before, including one that looks like a shark and a frog were kind of crossbred.
Frog.
Right.
Yeah.
You have denied life to the shrug. You will pay for your insolence.
Besides, what did you say about the Guzuru? That they wouldn't do such things?
I didn't say they wouldn't do such things. I said that they're a dangerous group.
That went
of
kill their own,
orcs.
but it seems like they're pretty bloodthirsty to me.
Sykes is
I
just like,
don't.
do you see any orcs here? Shut up.
Yes. I didn't want to draw that conclusion, but if the conclusion is there to be made, it is there. No, Sykes is gonna like double down on what he's like trying to convey. The Gurus Uru, they are a dangerous group of orcs that
But you said they
believe
wouldn't
in
harm
kill
those
their
other
own.
orcs. I mean, it seems like they're pretty fond of killing.
I think that was them.
Are you fine if we killed them?
If
They're-
we're assailed by them, yes.
How old are the body? Like, how old do they look? There's no children in there, right?
No, the open grave
Okay.
is ranging. Like, these are not all buried at the same time. Some of them seem to be very recent additions, others have been there for quite some time. Some are completely unidentifiable.
Okay. As long as there's no children.
Can I tell what the fey creatures are?
So you can see a centaur, a couple of satyrs. You think you see a hag in there.
Jesus Christ.
It
What
seems like
the
they're
fuck?
They probably are inside the cave, and they come out to train their tactics on unsuspecting
so they don't like fighting
individuals.
bears, what you're telling me.
They have a specific purpose that they fulfill.
It seems awfully dangerous to let that they're so far out of Dirtheim, but yet so close to Voltsnue.
Well, they're still days away from Voltsnue.
Yeah, but we're much closer to Voltsnue than Dirtheim.
My question to you would be, without having the understanding of the purpose here, where else would they train
Probably
to
closer
perfect
to their own
their
territory.
craft?
Because it seems like they're just killing anyone who stumbles in here. And since we stumbled in here, who's to say they won't come after us?
Well, there's 3 dead bodies in the clearing over there. We can either be on our way, or we can investigate the cave and find out.
As you're standing there, you hear from down below, kind of coming back from the opening of the cave, but below, a scream and no, please, no!
I really hope that's one of them and not one of their victims.
Quickly, somebody is in peril.
Yes, let's be on with it. Let's help them.
Let's see. As we head towards going down into a dark hole, Harkin will cast light onto his... I guess his musket?
Okay.
That way he can see.
I still have the dancing lights going
The
like ahead of us.
shiniest of
Yep.
muskets.
Oh,
Just
you
like-
do? Okay. Then
But like,
Look
if
at
you
my
want
cool cod
light
skin for my rifle
cast on like us,
our dancing lights,
probably
they're
be
not
good.
concentration based, right? They're just timed.
they are.
They are concentration?
But I can drop concentration on.
Okay. He will still cast light because I don't think he needs concentration on that. That way he doesn't go blind if there's no light down there.
They're concentration, but I can also send them out 20. So
I mean,
I can
it's
have
just
them
cantrip, so it's not like I'm
Yeah.
wasting a spell slot.
same with mine.
There will
And
be light
as
to be had.
As you cast the light and begin venturing down, the passageway is just wide enough for one person to walk at a time. It's somewhere between comfortably walking shoulder width and having to scoot to your side, and it's certainly not possible for people to pass each other in this passageway here.
Do we see what made that noise?
It sounded
what-
like it echoed from some ways away down here.
Okay, so down there.
But the point being, picking your marching order will be important, as until you reach a point where it widens, you're not going to be able to change positions.
Solarin's in front.
Harkin will go behind Solarin.
All right.
That way we have some sort of spellcaster behind him.
I'll be in the very back.
I would prefer to be closer to the front if it is in fact more orc down here. These Gurzuru, although are loyal to orc, are rather violent and
I mean,
You could be
He
right. You can
seemed
be behind me
more
if
of
you
an
want.
extremist group.
Yeah.
just know I'll have to shoot my musket past your head if we get into a fight.
Well, would you like to go in front of everybody?
No, we
Still
can teach the
insights,
learn up there.
Chuck, Hark, and Koei. Seems pretty good.
That does seem better.
Wait,
It's kind of unfortunate for Chut because can't take advantage of his movement in this area.
he'll probably run up a wall,
Well,
right?
he can move through allied people.
Maybe
but-
not in
Normally,
this
yes,
area,
but what I'm saying is it's so tight in here that's not going to be a possibility.
Like this is our
Okay.
order the entire way until we can spread out.
That
Okay.
moving through ally spaces is based off of the premise of a 5 foot wide. This
is
is
probably
like a 2 foot wide.
Okay.
So this is the
Still,
equivalent of
it's
moving
fine.
through a smaller, tiny space.
Terrifying.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think this should be fine. That way,
But
sex
as-
is close enough.
You go down one by one. That is where we'll pause for today and resume underground in a dungeon.
Yeah. As long as there's no dragon.
No ancient
That-
dragon. I can't
that would be
tie
2 on the
myself
nose.
to another one. I can't tie myself to another ancient.
I mean, it isn't called Dragons and Dungeons. It's just dungeons, and there's just dragons somewhere.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
they're trying to say, right?
Could be in the
There's
dungeon.
suggesting-
No overlap.
They're just
None.
suggesting that 2 realities exist.
Dungeons and or dragons.
There are
Sometimes
dungeons
both.
and there are dragons.
Yeah.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, the simple assertions that both things exist at the same time.
Yeah,
Nothing more than that is required.
Yeah, it's a dungeon inside a dragon. What are you talking about?
That's just stupid.
Oh,
Well,
Well,
we've been
yeah,
fighting
if
a
you
bunch
find
of
another
Solarians
dragon-
people.
If you
I
find
think we're
another
about to
dragon,
start
please
fighting.
don't strap yourself to it, because I can't save you when you do things like that.
Got a book full of good ideas.
again, it seemed like
Yeah,
a
attack
good
me with the dragon
idea
from the
at
Seemed
the
like a really
time.
fucking good idea. And if only like one other attack would have hit the dragon.
Man,
Well,
Blame
were-
the portal.
it all, yeah, I slipped, but it all determined with the strapping in. It's like, yes, if you're a strength-based paladin, this will be fine.
well, JC left for the treasure room. I think he could have like climb up, and we could at least rip the heel out somewhere.
It was
Yeah,
that was in that
absolutely 'cause-
same.
It was absolutely because Romaine fucking tripped, and he could have sent a fucking scorching ray at +12.
Yep.
And got him
Blame
to the
Romaine.
point where somebody else could have stabbed him if I just didn't slip on the one thing.
Yeah, it was rough.
If you just
That
had
was
the
a-
flip.
If only.
Well, we almost had 2 character deaths because Clem, I think, was on his last save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the one person that can heal me is in the treasure room right now. Phew.
Which was so crazy that he literally walked away from even you just sitting, like laying on the ground. Like you were just laying on the ground, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the treasure room. I'm like, what? Like, I get it, I'm dead. I get it. I strapped myself to a dragon. I understand. But like they're laying right next to you.
Oh, it was rough.
That whispered death save is it's such a good rule. I like it a lot. You just don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Gotta
added
make shit
stress is a
happen.
lot of fun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
I do feel like it reduces the number of deaths because the number of times I've watched people be like, "Oh, he's only made one failed death save. We can,"
Yeah,
Buy one
And
more
then-
round or
And
whatever.
and then
roll
it's
one.
And
like
then-
I'm not one.
and then they want to roll. Yeah,
yeah.
so
And then you're
many
like, "Oh."
times.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So good session. I'm excited about Brook Bellow and the township that we're gonna
I
invest
really,
in
I,
and make
I,
mighty.
I'm gonna make it the Rainforest Cafe, guys.
Yeah. We should all draft what we
Except-
think the tavern should look like and bring them next week.
Except without the I don't want the animatronic gorillas because that shit scares me.
You can make
Like
it
the
the
actual-
Cafe Tropical.
Yeah,
No.
it'll be fine.
Yeah. It seems
Also, I want
a little more when
I
you
want a
say that,
circle
it seems
window.
a little more casual.
We gotta
want a
file the
circle
patents
window.
early. That's the main key.
Yeah, make sure we get all of our names on the deed as well.
I want a circle window.
Sykes will worry about the contract law. He's yeah, don't worry about that. He'll file all the appropriate necessary paperwork.
The one thing to take expertise in is statutory law. Yeah.
The thing is like Sykes' background is a failed merchant, so it's like he's all about entrepreneurship. Where he's just like, dude, one thing's gonna stick once in my life.
Yeah.
One thing. I don't know what it is yet. I want to figure it out.
It'll work. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Maybe it will be the tavern. He's like not really ever been in that kind of like business establishment routinely. He's just
Yeah,
like,
it's a foreign experience for him.
yeah, he might find out he's like all right at managing it.
Or he might
He's
find
the-
out that he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
He's either gonna
really
be he's
bad.
either gonna be like that owner that's like that's on bar rescue that's like always like, yeah, there he goes. He's drinking his 5th shot. It's been what, 20 minutes?
What
He's
the
like
fuck?
lining up more shots.
He's gone way past
Or-
shift drinks.
Yeah, or he'll turn into the John Taffer. Start yelling at everybody.
All right.
See, I'm wanting to do like sort of like an indoor outdoor, put like a deck out over some of the water, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. That's
Specialize
why I
in
thought
fish and
that
chips.
No.
we
Yeah.
can even have like a
Not
little
fish and
pier
chips.
where
Something cheap and friable for
yeah.
Fish and fries.
all the jet ski tourism that we
Enthusiast.
should expect.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
good night, everybody. I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
Good night. I go to the Ren Fair tomorrow
Oh,
Ooh,
nice. That's
to
awesome.
literally live this in real life,
Hell
but
yeah.
see a lot more titties.
Hooray.
Are there?
Ren fairs are always
How have I been
full.
missing out on this all my life?
Ren fairs are always
There's-
full of bitches with their titties out. My titties are basically going to be out tomorrow.
There's
I have,
a
like-
good amount of
I
titties
have
in Renaissance.
literally-
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
wearing a skirt, a corset that barely covers my boobs, and then I am I'm wearing a like basically see-through like shawl type thing that I can throw over it. And I have like 3 different belts that I'm layering. I have like a little pouch and a baggie, all leather, which are super cute. So
Sounds fun.
I've prepared.
Okay.
I'm prepared for this.
I would fight so hard to not be the one who shows up in a Star Trek outfit. With a tricorder studying this clearly dark-aged civilization world.
Inconceivable.
I'm just excited to also see like actual jousting. That sounds
That's
cool.
Yeah. I always like the little tourneys that they put on.
And I'm gonna spend so much fucking money.
Yeah.
Because I already want a turkey leg and a pretzel.
Oh
So,
man,
like,
I wish
at
like
least
so I've been to a few of the
$40.
different fests out here. I wish they had turkey legs,
like that's
but
at
they got pretty good
least
sausages. So.
that
How do they
alone
not
is
have
at least
turkey
like
legs?
40 something dollars.
I
If they
haven't
have
seen them.
sausages, I'm gonna definitely eat a fucking sausage. They do have that thing where those girls talk really naughty to you while pouring a drink in your mouth, and I'm gonna do that. What else? What else?
That's a thing?
It is. Look it up. It's sort of hot.
Well, it's the body shot girls from like a strip club. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night. See some of you tomorrow
Yep.
And some of us the
for
next
Muppet
day.
Adventures.
Oh
Hooray.
yeah,
Muppet.
I'll be
Adventure.
excited to hear about that on Sunday. All right,
Good night,
y'all have a
all.
good one.
Have
See ya.
fun.
See you later.
Fucking Muppets.
Oh, we will. Hell yeah.